Okay, it's that time of the year again. So coming in at number 5 for me is 12 Foot Ninja's Vengeance. The boys from our own hometown here in Melbourne, they've definitely kept true to their sound. Gent meets, Mike Patton influence, which I think is fantastic because no one's really doing those two things combined. You can definitely hear their influences in their music, but at the same time, it's still unique as fuck.
So my top 5 albums starts with number 5, ENDVS, Cessation, Aussie Melodeath. It's really, really well done. I just can't describe it any more than just go listen to it. It's actually really, really amazing.
My top 5 releases of 21, Wang Wang Blues by Paul Whitman's Orchestra, Look for the Silver Lining by Marion Harris, Margie by Eddie... Oh, sorry, this is my 1921 list. Pandemic and all that, I was been thrown back 100 years. Hypocrisy's Worship. It's just Melodeath, and I don't know what else to say about it. It is just angry, aggressive, thrashy Melodeath, and I don't think they're doing anything new, but it's Hypocrisy firing on all cylinders, and that is, after this year, that is all I wanted. So, Hypocrisy, Worship.
First cab off the rank, my top 5 of 2021. My first is the Australian outfit, Fierce Deity's Power, Wisdom, Courage. It is Legend of Zelda inspired, really nerdy, really eat your heart out. Has a lot of little fan servicey elements, but they come across really mature. It's a really cohesive, fun package. Heaps of like stoner and doom elements across a more rock to metal spectrum. Go check it out.
This is my top 5. Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because Kez will.
Yeah, no worries.
But cool. Kez will go over the top with his and ruin the whole thing anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that year sucked again. Welcome back to the Kezik's Top Angsty Bangers of 2021 list. This time was more crying. Lingua Ignota, Sinner Get Ready. Can me and Kristen Hayter just find a nice isolated field in the middle of rural America where we can hold each other, cry deeply, and then set ourselves on fire in self-immolation to despise God? What a dark album. I love it.
Excuse me. Okay, Mastodon with Hushed and Grim. Just a huge album in every sense of the word. I think it's like 15 tracks in total. The usual style of music that they play, whatever you'd like to call it, it's a weird mix of a few things.
Mastodon has been described as a heavy metal band, along with more specific genres such as progressive metal, sludge metal, alternative metal, stoner rock, psychedelic metal, experimental metal, and doom metal.
You don't need drugs, basically. Like, this album is drugs at times.
Number 4 would be Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood. They've absolutely nailed it again with the whole theatrical, horror-styled metalcore. Pretty much a copy-paste of the same style as their previous album, Welcome to the Silver Scream. This is just as fantastic.
These next 2 releases are actually EPs, not albums, but top 5 releases. Same. Orbit Culture's Shaman. I don't know, however you want to pronounce it, but that was actually a bit of a surprising release for me because I've not really been a big fan of the band or anything like that up until now, but that EP has just gotten repeat listens, and it's like the right amount of melancholy with aggression.
Violet Cold's Empire of Love. Now, this is another one-person passion project, and this time it's from Azerbaijan's Iman Guliev. This album is a beautiful celebration of unity and culture in a genre defined by its exclusion at some points. The marriage of black gaze, orchestral, electronic, and indigenous elements are unmistakably Violet Cold. It's such a really homogenous sound. It's so warm and inviting. It's more than an album to me. It's a piece of activism that's fine for a more benevolent world at times. And yeah, check it out, please.
While She Sleeps, Sleep Society. I've always really liked While She Sleeps, but this album made me love them. They've managed to find a perfect blend between modern metalcore, synth elements, and just traditional punk and hardcore riffs, and they blend them all really nicely together while being super heavy and catchy. Fantastic album.
Next up, Cradle Filth's new album, Existence is Futile. For me, it was like very throwbacky, which is probably why I liked it. I didn't like the middle section of Cradle's career with their albums, but this one sort of brought it back to their old school sound. Relentless from start to finish. There's no bad tracks on the whole album in my opinion, so yeah, great listen.
For number 3, I've got VOLA's Witness. It's just a really solid album. All of the melodies and the little hooks and everything got stuck in my head after the first time listening to it. So definitely an earworm kind of song. Go check it out.
Next we have And I Return to Nothingness by Lorna Shaw. Disgusting.
Disgusting!
That's all I got. It is filth in the best way, and like just for the vocals alone, and like they're basically just noises at this point, but I don't care. When it dropped, it was just that thing of like everything was just so monotonous, and obviously in Victoria we're in lockdown and blah blah blah, and then like that kind of dropped, and it was just like, thank you.
Trivium's In the Court of the Dragon. Now, this is an album... We're doing it again! This album is incredibly aggressive from a band that I thought had lost their ferocity and their desperation. To me, it's the best album they've released since perhaps Shogun, if not Silence in the Snow. They go and express their full discography through this album.
Leprous' newest album, Aphelion. They took all the symphonic elements on their last two albums, dialed them up to progressive 10 and got weird about it, and they are just killing it in deep, really atmospheric, experimental, orchestrative-like prog rock. It's exciting, it's fun, and it's really engaging and emotional, and I love this album to pieces.
So coming in at number 2 for me is Evergrey's Escape of the Phoenix. This album came out pretty much towards the start of the year, January or February, and I remember hearing it and going, this is probably going to make my top 5. Tom England is like one of my favorite clean vocalists of all time. I think if the man wanted to, he could probably quit and go into like being an acoustic act and still be successful. It's a great mix, it's a really fat guitar tone, huge drums, and I just loved everything about it.
Number 2, we'll go with The Stranger's Kaleidoscope. This album was probably one of my favorite prog albums for the year, irrespective of 2021, of all the things I rediscovered and discovered this year. This album just stood out so much. It was fantastic. The vocalist is all over the place doing some really cool, wacky stuff. Really, really enjoyed it.
As every year that they have a release, and I don't know, at this point in time, it's probably just like absolute confirmation bias between me and the other band members. But Trivium, In the Court of Dragon. These nuts, In the Court of the Dragon. As much as Matt Heafy would like to keep pushing that meme so hard. Notable songs would be Sugma. It's just it's a logical continuation from what the Dead Men say, and effectively where they were going with Sin in the Sentence. They've basically got the lineup now that can do anything, and now they're doing everything. That's the only way to describe this album. It's got everything.
Rivers of Nihil, The Work. The Work is crushingly heavy when it wants to be, but the real weight is delivered through its introspection. The Work is purpose-built to be consumed as a whole, and it does lack some flagship singles, but it makes up for it in that just sheer gravitas. So definitely one to just smash out together.
Chelsea Wolfe and Converge's collaborative album Blood Moon. How are Converge still making such exciting and experimental music after 30 years? It's once again incredibly dark, depressing and heavy. It's been a year. It's been a year.
Alright, coming in at number 1 for me this year was the album, I hope I'm saying the band name right, ENDVS with Cessation. Noteworthy again, another Australian band. That's 2 on my top 5 list, and I mean that's a great sign for Australia, obviously. This album in particular is just gigantic, amazing clean vocals, if I hadn't mentioned that. I've obviously heard of them before, and you know, no bias here, but I believe we're playing a show with them as part of the tour in February. Super proud that they're from Australia once again, and just goes to show that we put out some amazing music. Honourable mention to Bodom After Midnight with their EP that came out called Paint the Sky with Blood. The track in particular, the title track Paint the Sky with Blood, was probably one of my favourite songs of the year as well. So yeah, that's it for me. Suck my nuts.
Number 1, Trivium, In the Court of the Dragon King? No.
In the Court of Dragon, these nuts!
Oh my god, Trivium have delivered yet again and have just absolutely blown it out of the park. Mix sounds amazing to me, everything is so clear and just explosive when it happens. Ishan from Emperor doing synth across the album also. Lots and lots of like cool bass licks and solos, which usually in this kind of music don't get a spotlight, and this album definitely showcases that kind of stuff. Just amazing album, exactly what it needed to be, and it's brilliant.
Go Trivium.
Go you. Go you.
And last but not least, and slight bias because I had the extreme privilege of working with these dudes, would be Flaming Wrekage's Cathedral Bones. It's just Groove City. It's thrashy, it's got metalcore elements to it, but it's just, there is a consistent amount of groove and just, I don't think anyone could listen to this album without banging their head along. Like, you cannot do it. And nothing ever gets too samey or too draggy, but there is like just a feel to the album, and it is this. Awesome dudes from New South Wales. Love them to bits. Check out that album, Cathedral Bones by Flaming Wrekage. And that's it. That's my top 5 for this year.
Right. My album of the year goes to Ice 9 Kills. Welcome to Horrorwood, The Silver Scream 2. Now, I cannot believe that I would even consider Ice 9 Kills in the top 5 for myself. Before I heard this record, they weren't on my radar. Now, it's a daily rotation. This album is an energized love letter to fans of horror cinema. But most importantly, it makes me smile, it makes me happy, and it reminds me why I like listening to music. It's that easy.
Also, this has been an absolutely amazing year for EPs due to The Thing and all that happened. So a couple of EPs to check out quickly. Poppy, Kira Kira Benito, Soft Cult, Five Pebbles, and Lorna Shore. Fantastic. Oh! Hang on. Nah, screw all this doom and gloom. We Butter the Bread was Butter's new album, Dust album, was the most fun I've had with metal in years. It was great. Breakdowns that make you smile. Go listen to that. I'm bored of being sad now. I've got toast. Bye. Good year.
Jesus, those kneecaps every time. Excuse me. Bear with me while I construct the banana penis one more time.